Okay guys, in today's video we are going to be adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So when the denominators are the same. So let's look at these two fractions here. In one of them we have 3/8 shaded in and the other one we have 2/8 shaded in. So altogether if we were to move two of those over to the 3, we end up with 5 parts shaded in out of a total of 8. Okay, so what we actually have is 3/8 plus 2/8 equals 5/8. So what you'll have seen is when we add the fractions, we add the numerators together to get our new numerator, and we keep the denominator the same. So it's important to note that they have to have the same denominator, the two fractions, otherwise we have to kind of change something, but we'll do that in our next video. So now we're going to look at subtracting fractions. So we're going to subtract 4/8. Is that 4/8? 4/9 by the looks of it. 4/9. We're going to take away 2/9. And what we end up with is 2/9 still, because we've got 4 and we took 2 away. So 4/9 take away 2/9 equals 2/9. So again, when subtracting fractions, subtract the numerators to get our new numerator and keep the denominator the same. Let's do some examples. So here, 6/11 plus 3/11. Well, 6 plus 3 gives us 9 and we keep the denominator the same. 1/3 plus 1/3, that gives us 2/3 because 1 plus 1 is 2 and we keep our denominator the same. And our last one, 6/7 plus 4/7 gives us 10/7. Now this is not in simplest form, so we need to change this to simplest form by making it a mixed number. And 7 goes into 10 once with 3 parts remaining, so we end up with 1 3/7. Okay, I want you to pause it now and do the next 3 on your own. Remember, they have to stay in the simplest form. Fantastic. So the first one, you should have got 18/19. The second one, 23. Sorry, that should be 21. 21/24. So we'll change that because this should be 21. 21. Is that correct? Yes, 21/24, which actually means that this is, well, 3 goes into that 7 times and into 24 8 times. So 7/8. Silly me. And the last one, so 3 quarters plus 2 quarters equals 5 quarters. And 4 goes into 5 once with 1 part remaining. Okay, so moving on to some subtractions. So 2/5 take away 1/5 gives us 1/5. Because 2 take away 1 is 1. And we keep the denominator the same. 3 quarters take away 1 quarter, we end up with 2 quarters. Now remember, we're keeping these in our simplest form, so we take this to a half. Then we have 9/10 take away 4/10. Actually, I want you to do I and J, please. So just pause it now and do I and J and then come back. Don't worry about K. Okay, so you'll have ended up with 5/10, which again simplifies down to 1/2. And 18 take away 4 gives us 14/21. And 7 goes into both, so 7 goes into 14 twice and into 21 3 times. And for our final one, we are going to convert them into improper fractions. So we end up with 17/6 take away 7/6. And what we end up with is 10/6. It's hard to say 6. So our final answer is 1 4/6. Now if you look over here, 2 minus 1 gives you 1. 5 minus 1 gives you 4. So you can do it that way, but you do need to be mindful that if you do it that way, sometimes, especially if this number is bigger, you have a bigger fraction in the second half, it can get a little bit muddled up. So I like to convert it into an improper fraction just because I know that I'm not going to make a mistake, but it is up to you. And we need to simplify this down even further so that we end up with 1 2/3. If you have any questions, again, make sure you ask. Thanks, guys.